All right, this is another one in a series of hand reviews. This one is a hand that was played on the 19th of April um, during the regular Monday night Scottish country fireworks. And so we're going to just go through hand and I'm going to talk about what I think. And I think I'll be all alone for this video. Make sure your voice is in the background. Let's start off. This was a 3-player game right at the very beginning of the night. And I don't really know anything about it, so let's see. Okay, so the first obvious candidate is that the next. Let me actually re-enter this. Do a shared replay instead. So the first obvious clue would be to tell the next player about these two ones. So that's one option. Another option is to tell this player about these two ones. Either way, the hope has to be that one is held, so that the other player has something to do, so that the other two ones can get clued. Because this is a set of 4 of the available 5 ones, so that's going to be the priority. The scary thing for Thopter is you kind of have to, like, Thopter Spy kind of has to guess which one, which one is more likely to be held. There's no way to guess first. I don't think there's any reason to include these ones instead of these ones. I mean, these ones could get clued just because of the presence of this blue 2, and that then these 2s could get clued. So it could go a 1's clue to marcmagus, and then thinking that, with the thinking being that this would then be a 2's, that there would be this 2's clue available. And it's going to come back to Thopter Spy, and then Thopter Spy can clue these ones. That's a reasonable line to take. I think that's probably marginally better than including these ones. Just because this is such an appealing clue for the next time around. Like the issue is that if you clue Pursued by Bear's ones, Pursued by Bear has to play a 1. Pursued by Bear can't clue marcmagus' ones. But if you clue marcmagus' ones, then Pursued by Bear has an option. Pursued by Bear can either clue a 1 in Thopter Spy's hand, or clue this beautiful 2's clue that can be seen to exist. So, so given those two, I think I would probably clue these ones over these ones. But honestly, it's both of them are so good, it doesn't really matter. And the clue I would generally expect is just to clue these ones and keep life uncomplicated. Thopter Spy, of course, does the better of the 2 clues. So it's Pursued by Bear. Pursued by Bear is choosing between this 2's clue and this green clue and this purple clue. Well, okay. So the first way to try and make a decision would be to look to see if there's a bluff that is going to be able to be used against this blue card. No, there isn't, because Mark is going to play one of these ones, and so everything's going to move to the right. This 2 doesn't make getting to this 3 super inconvenient, but it's certainly not perfect. Pursued by Bear can't see this blue 3, so I wouldn't want to have to clue. So if what ends up happening here is that Mark plays a card, the 2's move to the right, there's like a 1 in 5 chance that a blue card shows up in the first position, and then I have to clue 2s to mark magus. That would complicate my life. So I don't really want to have that happen. So I would probably go ahead and clue these 2s and just accept the fact that I'm going to have to take this 3. What's fun is that like the other line is, yeah. So I think I would choose these 2s over this purple clue. Just because I want to avoid the awkward blue card coming in, and then I have to kind of double clue the 2s, and I don't want to deal with that. So I would probably clue these 2. I think these clue the 2s is a bit better. Cluing, by the way, this is choosing between 3 good choices. Like cluing the 2s, good choice. Cluing the purple, good choice. Cluing the green, perfectly good choice. like the green moving away and then purple getting clued to Dr. Spy is going to be very, very easy. So it's not, none of these are going to cause too much of a problem. Even a blue card showing up in Mark Magus' hand isn't going to be a big deal. Mark Magus plays them out of order. That's interesting. Okay. So what do I think about that? I would not have played them out of order. I wouldn't have played them out of order because I can see that there's this great ones clue that Pursued by Bear can get. And I would think that the reason my ones were clued was because it was better for me to be playing my ones. And I wouldn't have any reason to think that my last one is more important. There is an argument to be made by some people who say that, well, there's a fractional benefit for playing a one that's in chop because it's, quote, going away and you might need to get it. And that's so fractional that unless you have a strong agreement about that, I think you're better off just being predictable. Because one might imagine that the first one here was a purple one. And so
if the first one were a purple one,
yeah,
then Pursued would have clued purple.
No, because the first one in this case is in the 3rd position in the hand. So purple to Pursued by Bear would have clued purple.
Proctor would have, as he did, clued ones to Mark, and Pursued would have clued purple immediately to Proctor.
No, because it could be exactly the same situation. Not necessarily. I mean, that's one of the possibilities, but like this exact layout of cards, Pursued might have just clued 2s to Mark just for the reasons that I mentioned.
But they didn't. They did neither of those two things. This is actually what I think is super interesting about this hand holding, because I think the fact that Pursued chose to give exactly this clue.
And Mark can infer that, so when Mark gets this clue, okay, so how does Mark know that the holding isn't yellow-red? Well, it can't be yellow-red because obviously it'd be better to use the yellow-red in Pursued's hand. So like the last card in the hand can neither be yellow-red nor green. So the last card in the hand is definitely blue or purple. The first card is definitely playable. So it's red or yellow, or it's red or yellow. So if the holding is red, yellow, and then blue, purple, it's better to play the blue, purple than the yellow, red. Okay, I can see that that's true. Yeah, and it's interesting because the purples aren't playable this turn if it's in the 2nd position, but they are playable if it's in the 1st position. And so by doing this, it does make sense to play the 2nd position card because that makes the purples more playable than they otherwise would be. And if you're wrong about it, you're always going to play the other one anyway. It doesn't make any difference because Mark's going to take 2 turns before the purples get played. So it doesn't matter what order you play them in, the purples are going to get played anyway. So I think you have to insure against what if you have a holding like blue 2, blue 3, blue 1, and then purple 1. It might actually be important for you to be playing your blue like you've been told to do.
Then you would have included ones in blue.
Well, no, but Mark hasn't had any time. It won't be ones in blue because Mark doesn't need that clue until next turn. There's no reason not to give Thopter Spy a clue this turn to get one of the green 1 should get played this turn because that's the only playable card in Thopter Spy. Meaning that the purple isn't in the first position, and if the purple 1 is in the last position, then you're going to get it out in time anyway. So I think it's a cute play. I think it is correct that it gets the purple 1 played earlier, but I don't see what the need is to get the purple 1 played earlier because it's going to be the next turn when you play the purple 1 anyway. So the only reason to do it is because you think you're going to do something other than play a 1 on your turn. And the only reason for you to be playing something other than a 1 is if you're playing the matching 2 of the one that you can't see. So honestly, I just think all the roads lead back to it's a choice, and it's definitely true that this is a more purple card, but I don't see the benefit of getting the purple card played 1 round earlier. I mean, it frees up Mark to do something other than play, and that's a choice. That's definitely a choice. But it means that it's definitely going to complicate life on this hand holding. Not really. It's going to all be probably the same. And then Thopter Spy clues 1s.
I believe it is actually literally the same. It doesn't actually. There's no downside.
There's no downside, but there's no upside.
From Mark's perspective, the purples could be an upside.
No, because you're getting there at the same time. The downside is if you hold blue that needs to be played. And if the plan was to tell you, if the plan was, if your holding was...
No, you're not getting them played at the same time.
Yeah.
In order to get the purples played, Mark has to be one to get the clue.
No, not at all. Not at all. Okay,
so
wait. So here's the... So let's go into the hypothetical. So let's say that so it's pursued by bear's turn. Pursued by bear, of course, is cluing. Okay. So then what happens? Okay, so Mark plays normally. Thopter Spy plays normally.
No, Thopter Spy's medium.
Okay, sure. Thopter Spy, it's all the same. Thopter Spy gives 1s to Pursued. Okay.
Pursued has to play.
Pursued gives purple to Thopter Spy. Why does Pursued have to play?
Because Pursued has 2 cards to play.
No, but so what? Pursued knows exactly what those cards are. They're obviously yellow 1, red 1. And the right clue to give is purple. So just give it. So then it goes, the purple gets played, then the green gets played, because there's no purple 4. Then Pursued plays a 1, and you just keep going. And I mean, maybe what you do is actually back here.
Yeah, but look, my point is that purple still aren't playing.
They're getting played on exactly the same turn. So this purple 2 getting played. This purple 2 gets played. This is Mark's turn. So Mark plays. So you can see that this purple 2 is getting played on turn 7, right? Okay, so let's go back to the game. So let's go to turn 7. And what happens? Oh, the purple 2 doesn't get played. But this is the same turn when the purple 2 would get played. It's exactly the same turn. It's exactly the same sequence. It's turn 7. All the same cards get touched.
I see, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The time it matters isn't when it's purple. The time it matters is that if you're in the hypothetical where this is blue 2, and you're in the hypothetical where this is blue 3, well, I didn't want you to go play this purple card. I wanted you to play your blue card. Maybe.
I mean, I would argue that doesn't matter either, though, because if you play it, you're going to get the blue clue anyway.
Yeah. But
that's 6 of 1. It's literally 6 of 1. There's no... The thing that from my count that I thought was charming about this is that there's no downside to not playing the purple.
If there were the difference would be if it were a 4-player game, and there were
yeah. No, it's different in a 4-player
yeah.
game. It's uniquely interesting in this game.
No, in this game where if there were a 4th player between Mark and Thopter Spy, then that player could clue purple to Thopter Spy, and so then there would be a huge benefit for playing this purple card and getting it out there. But then you have to have real purpose. Like then you have to like really think about it, because then it's like, well, did Pursuit really clue this green one, or did I just have different cards? You know, and it's not impossible for one of these ones to be yellow. Like that could totally be a thing. It seems unlikely. It seems unlikely. But yeah, it seems really unlikely. I think that it's very reasonable for Mark to think that this is purple. It's very reasonable for Mark to play it. I don't think it makes any difference whatsoever in this in in all the hand holdings. I really don't. I mean, it does. One thing I actually do think is that if I were pursued by bear and I saw this, I would think, oh, I might have the purple 4, purple 5, because that's a reason to get on the purple train. So that takes us to turn 7, and then the question is what to do here. And okay, and then Thopter Spy takes this reverse finesse, I suppose, because you got to give Mark something to do. And Mark should probably be thinking that it's not safe to discard this early, because everyone's been so busy. Like everyone is given multiple blues and stuff, and then yeah, so blue here is it makes a lot of sense. Just to keep Mark busy, and there's no purple. There's no purple 4. There's no green 2. Like it's totally different Thopter Spy's position. So Mark now. Mark, of course, should be playing. So the line I would expect here is Thopter Spy should play the purple 2, just to preserve the ability to signal using the green 1 or shown up. Like if you play the green 1 right now, then later it's not as impactful, because if the green 2 were to show up and you suddenly play the green 1, like that has a little bit more impact. And then I would expect Pursued by Bear to take a sarcastic discard with the red 1, because there's no reason to save the red 5 yet in Mark Magus's hand. Saving the 5 here is this is just early. The line, the nice line is play the purple 2, sarcastic discard the red 1 in order to protect the red 5, and that would look like that would actually look like. Let me just show you what that would look like. That would look like this. That would look like not that. That would look like this. Play the purple, discard the red 1. Let's just see what the cards would have been, just to give it some spice. Wow, it's so good. Yeah, that's really good. And then Mark plays. Wow. Wow. So many choices. So many choices. Yeah, play. Okay, and then here Pursued by Bear has options. Yeah, here Pursued by Bear has options. Like, there's still no reason to save. There's still no reason to save. Plays. Here is Mark attempting to clue with 2 to Pursued by Bear. Planning on following it up with yellow. And I would do it 2 then yellow, because that's less committal. And then at this point, maybe Thopter Spy saves. Actually, at this point, Thopter Spy kind of knows that Pursued can see something for Mark to do, because Pursued deliberately left it like this. So when Mark clues to Pursued, Thopter can actually know that there's still something in Thopter's hand worth something. And if Pursued ends up doing the save, it doesn't damage anything. It kind of makes it easier for Pursued's hand, because then you can just clue yellow to it. So yeah, it can just still be a play. And then at this point, Pursued looking can still see this blue 4 to be clued, so play it. Oh, take that back actually. Let's go back one. Like the danger though is that that it might be the case that Mark now picks up a discard. Just because like it's not as pressing. I think it could end up being a 5 save at this point. So maybe the 5 save ends up not really mattering. Like an aggressive line there would have been to continue, and that would work out. The aggressive line would totally work out because there are enough clues to be given. Anyway, okay, 5 save it is. 1 gets played, and then a 5 save back. That's too early. I would be thinking that, like, because there are cards, there's still playable cards in hand. Like, I wouldn't see any reason not to clue 4 to Pursued by Bear here. Never gonna. This 5 save is just not necessary. Pursued by Bear has lots of things to do. And the 5 save to marcmagus should make Mark think that a discard is safe. Because otherwise, like if you're giving a 5 save kind of that early, you should be prepared for a discard. So I think a discard is fine. I think that cluing 4 to Pursued by Bear is fine. I think that the 5 save is the 1 gets played, Pursued plays, bluff on green 3. Sense. Dr. Spy will play the yellow 2. Pursued by Bear. Wow. I would force discard. That's weird. This line is a little suboptimal. But Mark can see both yellow throws and knows that it's a good discard. I say it's suboptimal because anytime a player discards when they have a playable card, it's an indication that maybe there's a better line would have been able to delay that discard. Maybe not avoid it, but at least delay it. That gets played. This should almost certainly be a discard. This could be a yellow clue to Thopter. So I guess it has to be a yellow clue to Thopter. It's a little unfortunate because this blue 4 is going to get lost. And frankly, like, this is a case where I would almost rather just clue the blue 4. Because I know I'm going to get a discard out of my own hand to get that clue. But if I clue the reverse finesse here, then what's going to happen is it's going to get back to me. Like, it's going to go play, it's going to be back to me. I'm going to discard. And then Thopter Spy is going to have to interrupt doing what Thopter Spy is doing in order to clue that blue 4. And I just don't really need that. I think that the yellow clue is going to be fine to pick up the yellow 3 and the yellow 5. So the reverse finesse here is probably not a great line, not the best line. I think that the clue of blue is probably slightly better. I wonder what he chose. He chose the reverse. I would have chosen the blue clue. The 2 gets played, play, and then this is the situation. Like the discard is now forced anyway, and so it gets forced. Instead of it being the red 1 out of Pursued's hand and maintaining it, the other way. Although the draws are great, now there's a red reverse finesse set up in Thopter Spy. Thopter Spy is going to do a lot of playing this game. Thopter Spy should absolutely play the yellow 4 here to give an inclination that that yellow 5 is yellow. Thopter Spy does. Pursued by bear. Now, probably would like to give a clue. There's nothing to clue, and so the blue 4 is probably going to get lost. And that's really unfortunate. That's why the blue line is because then in the same situation, the red 1 would be discarded, Mark would have a clue, and then the yellow card could be clued. And we still wouldn't be anywhere near that yellow 4. So let's just take a look at what that line would be. That's this moment here. And what I'm suggesting is that better line would be blue. What it's going to do is it's going to go purple gets clued, blue gets played, Mark takes the discard, Thopter plays the let me show the drawn cards just in case there's a better action. Thopter plays, and then oh, Thopter, yeah, and then here, wow, Thopter has lots of good choices. The Thopter could say clue yellow here to put together. Play, forced to discard, which is fine. Thopter Spy plays. Pursued by bear clues. To yellow with Thopter Spy. Discard instead. Let's continue down. Discard. Be a discard. Oh, right. Right, because it was given it's going to be a play. And then this is just another discard. No worries. The 2 clue from Thopter Spy. Yeah, it is going to be red. That's slightly unfortunate. That's actually probably not. It's not. At this point, it's not that dangerous. Actually, it's probably going to be a green clue. Yeah, actually, it's better to just chill. Just take a green clue to mark. Because this is known to be a green 3 from earlier nets. And then this is still fine. Oh no, I guess it might be good to prevent this red discard here. Oh, but Mark can do it because even though Mark knows that this is green, Mark can just clue. No, Mark doesn't need to do anything. Mark just plays. Thopter Spy clues red. And because there are plenty of clues, everything's good. Pursued by bear, of course, switches to red because it's definitely better than green because that takes pressure off what Mark is doing. Mark's going to clue red to Thopter Spy, and then this is just a stroll in the park victory. Like everything's great. Like there's no problem. No bad cards can be on the bottom of the deck, and it's an easy win. Okay, so that's one alternative line. Let's see. I mean, their line is probably just as good. So I mean, the difference is that this blue 4 gets lost. That's the main difference. So then Mark does get to clue red here, and then Mark instead gets the forward finesse on blue. Makes sense. This is going to be a red clue. And then this is going to be a green clue from Mark. And here I might be tempted to clue green I would be really tempted to clue green here. I'd probably clue green because I don't need. I'm not super worried about Thopter Spy. Thopter Spy is going to play red before play the red 4 first, and it should be on Thopter Spy's mind that it's probably not the green. Discard is not. I would not discard. I would not discard. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't just discard. But, okay, fine. I mean, it doesn't matter much. It's still a winning game. Like 0.38 efficiency required. It's left, and it's easy. The win is a win is a win. Which is why I would tend to be pointing to cards. Like I would be wanting to already. Yep, and then this green clue is fine, and the green 4 is visible, so Pursuit can easily tidy up what's going on. And then here I would, and both green 4s are a bit visible, so piece of cake. Play. And then it probably results in a 5 clue being given, but it doesn't matter. Mark should probably infer that it's not necessary to clue this 5. Because otherwise Pursuit is kind of bound to do it. But it's safe to do, and 0.27 efficiency required and 7 ridiculous. There's no reason not to. And then the green gets clued back, and this is just an easy win. Cluing the reverse finesse here is not necessary. I would just clue 4 here or purple to mark magus. Because Pursued by Bear is going to play, and then we're just going to play out. So like the reverse finesse here is sort of makes sense. And I would generally expect this to mean, oh, by the way, you have the other purple 4. And I'm telling you about it because there's some reason for count. But I mean, it's definitely a choice. I don't think it's super confusing here, but I think it's probably this doesn't add any efficiency to the game because there's going to be an opportunity to get to this 5 no matter what. Oh yeah, and this is kind of that situation. Like you can imagine a situation like this where if you clue purple to Pursued by Bear, and like just in this situation, like if it were Thopter Spy's turn, a clue of purple to Pursued by Bear makes a lot of sense to be purple 4, purple 5. And the reason it makes sense to be purple 4, purple 5 is because Mark Magus has something to do, but Pursued by Bear doesn't have something to do. And so if it were really the case that Pursued had a 5 in the first position, well then you're not gaining anything. You might as well just play or clue the 5 and then have Pursued by Bear clue the 4 because there's enough time. And in this case, it would be just playing if it were Thopter Spy's turn. So like this is kind of exactly that situation where purples are where because it's an end game, you shouldn't be necessarily thinking of these things as reverse because in general, they should just be natural meanings to play. With 0.14 efficiency, there's no reason to be worried. Like everyone could take a discard and then give a round of clues, and everything would be fine. So it should be reserved for these very critical cases. And this is just playing out. And then that's a 25. So that run out was pretty easy too. So I would say that yellow versus blue doesn't matter a whole lot. And then at that point in the game, they were bottom decked by the blue 4, bottom decked by the blue 4. That's pretty much that game. I think I'd summarize it as a pretty well played game all around. Definitely an interesting opening with this sequence of this opening sequence is definitely pretty cool. And I think it's really worth thinking about. Definitely this initial play is pretty interesting. In the mid game, those 2 5 saves I think are one. They're just a little slow, but they have a lot of time. So it's really have any effect. So altogether, pretty sweet little game. All right, so this is number 2 in the list of names from Monday the 14th of April. The 19th of April. Other 4, 9. 19th of April. Yeah, so Twitch TV, Mark Magus. If you see the games actually played live and not with dry, boring comments. Okay. Word to them.